Hi, it's Tammy Pally, aka The Crafty Princess. You can find out more information about me and my crafting adventures over at tammypally.com, and of course make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I usually publish about on average one video a week, and so if you subscribe you will get email notifications whenever I have a new video out. This video is semi-related to crafting in the fact that if you've ever wanted to publish your own craft book, or anything really, if you wanted to do any type of self-publishing through the Kindle app, or I guess the program's called Kindle Direct Publishing to be specific, KDP. If you've ever wanted to use Kindle to publish something yourself, then this video will give you a little bit of information about how to go about doing that and provide you with some tips that I have learned the hard way after doing it myself. I recently published my first novel through Kindle, and in fact I'll show you the cover here on my iPad. It's called Crafting Memories, and the subtitle is A Novel of Family and Remembering. And it is available on Amazon.com. If you just go over to Amazon.com and search for Crafting Memories, it pops right up. You can also find it on my author page over there. Again, if you just search for Tammy Pally, you can see all my books, including my craft books, which are not self-published. And in fact, I was kind of hesitant to do self-publishing. I've read a lot of self-published, I won't say I've read a lot. I've read a handful of self-published books, and it turned me off because they weren't very good. And I'm not going to say that all self-published books are not good and that published books published through publishers are good. Obviously, some of it is subjective, but yes, I still am trying to get over the stigma of being self-published. But I decided to go ahead and do this because I want my book to be read. Okay? So anyway, in this video, I was going to talk about this actually in a podcast, my Crafty Princess Diaries podcast, but I realized not everyone is interested in learning a little bit of information about how to go about doing this, how to self-publish through KDP, and maybe some tips that I learned the hard way through my own experience publishing my book. If you're interested in reading my book, by the way, just get the plug in there. It sells for $2.99. There is only a Kindle version right now, though I am checking into hard copy options. And let's see, and there is a look inside feature that is available, which allows you to read the preface, the entire first chapter, and part of the second chapter. All right, so let's get into it. How do you go about doing this? Well, first you obviously have to have an account on Amazon.com. I think most people have that, but if you don't, you need to sign up for one, and that's free. Then you're going to go over to the URL kdp.amazon.com. I will type it in here in a caption, but it won't be hot linked. So KDP, K as in kettle, D as in dog, P as in pancake. .amazon.com. When you go over to that page, there's a little video there, and the video is not super informative. I wish, honestly, they had lots more videos. That would be super helpful. But that little video just gives you an introduction to what the program's all about. And then there's a kind of a start here link. There's some general information and then a link to get started. Once you click on that link, you'll be brought to a page that has buku links, tons of links, okay? And that is because it is a process to get your book ready to upload and be put into a Kindle format. It's not impossible. I think it probably took me between 2 and 3 weeks to have it as perfect as possible in there. Yeah, probably I would say that. And that's not hammering on it. You know, I wasn't doing it like 40 hours a week or anything. It was just kind of like, well, let me check on this, and let me check on that. And so that's the first thing. The second thing you want to check into are the sections in your book. And again, this information is listed in there. It tells you things like you probably want to have a table of contents. You may even want to have a hot linked table of contents. I did not opt for that in my book because my table of contents are just like, you know, chapter 1, 2, 3. That's it. I don't have them titled, nothing. So I don't really see how helpful that would be. But if you had for example, if you had a craft book and you had sections in there like how to do a single crochet, maybe you had a technique section and then you had a project section, something like that, then I could see how a hot link table of contents would be very helpful. It also tells you things like, you know, you probably want an introduction, you want a section on about the author, all those little front matter and back matter pieces you will need to put together and put them in the file that you're going to upload at some point. Let's see, the other thing is you will have to format your book, your manuscript in Word usually. They suggest Word, and I think most people use that these days. And one of the things that you have to be particularly cognizant of are page breaks. I had a heck of a time with the page breaks. There was one in particular that kept messing up on me, and so I constantly was fixing it and re-uploading the stupid file, and this kind of it was kind of a pain because I wanted to tell everybody, hey, the book's over there, but I wanted that one page break to be correct. So I waited to make sure that it was. When you upload your program or your manuscript into their program, you do get a chance to have a preview of it. And I will say, I bought my book because I wanted to see for sure that it looked like what they said it was going to look like in the preview, and it does. It does look the same, the page breaks are the same and everything. But like I said, somehow mysteriously, this one page break kept disappearing, and I would have to re-upload it. So the good part, though, is that if you do find something that you want to fix, you can re-upload your file. Of course, if someone's already purchased your book, that person who's already purchased it would not get that new version automatically. So you would need to either, if it was something really significant, you would probably want to tell people. I don't know how you would do that. So speaking of uploading the files, before you do that, make sure you proof your file. Proof it, proof it, proof it again, and in fact, I would recommend getting at least 2 other people to proof your book for you. Now, the reason why I say this is because you have read it so many times that it's very easy to read past your own errors. Okay, so having the author do the proofing, I'm not saying don't proof it yourself, but I'm just saying that you're not the ideal person to proof it. Ideally, you want to have totally fresh eyeballs, someone who has not looked at the manuscript at all. And the reason why I suggest having multiple people is because my experience with this book, again, is that I already had somebody who supposedly proofed it for me. And I'm trying to remember, it was a while ago when I asked this particular person to do it, and I'm not sure if this person, because I asked for proofing, and I asked for this person's professional opinion. And I got the feeling that this person didn't want to hurt my feelings, and so possibly just did not like the book. I would say it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a chick lit type of book. The character is a 40-year-old woman, and so so it's not for everybody. So I think that person did a cursory look at it with the idea that he or she, I don't want to say specifically, that this person could then say, yes, I did look at your book, here are my markings. And this person did find stuff to fix. The next person that looked at it, though, she read it through and she found all kinds of stuff, which was wonderful because, you have spell checker, but spell checker is not always actually that helpful. You also have things like autocorrect. That happens in Word as well if you have that turned on, so that can just really mess things up. So yeah, it's definitely you want to have somebody with fresh eyeballs. So she found stuff, and then I had another person after that who I was almost hesitant to ask anyone else, but it was my husband actually who offered to do it, and I know he's really good at this kind of thing. So I said yes, thank you, thank you, sweetie. I'm not good. And again, this is for him. I know this is definitely not his choice of reading material, but so he found stuff too. So that was. And you're going to find things. I mean, so make sure that you've proofed it, and I would say at least 2 to 3 people that you ask them to proof it as well. On the plus side, what you could do, and I haven't done this yet, but if those people were people that you think might actually enjoy the book, and I will say one of the 3 people who did proof it really liked my book. I mean, she was like, this is her type of book. I might ask her to write a review of it, because now she's read it, so she can write a review on Amazon for me. All right, so make sure you have it proofed. The cover. The cover is really cool. They have a tool in there that you can use to create your cover, and they have clip art, so really you don't need anything. But if you look at my cover here, let me pull this up again. I created this myself in that I took the picture myself. And what I did, you can see there's a ball of yarn, a cake of yarn. That's supposed to be a crochet hook, and then I have some old family photographs here. And these are really, these are actually digital images that I cut on paper. I printed on paper and cut out. So I made sort of this little montage, and I put it in my, and I used I have a light tint that I use for photography when I want something really, really nice. So I made this little montage of the yarn and the crochet hook and the pictures, and there's a little pair of scissors, which you can't really see in there. You probably I would suggest taking a couple of different pictures, because I did take a picture at first and I had knitting needles in there. Well, they kind of got cut off a little bit, and then when I uploaded it, you don't really know exactly where the text is going to land on your picture. You know, is it going to be over here? Is this going to show up here? It's hard to really know. So I ended up, the first cover I did actually didn't look too bad. It looked pretty decent, but I wanted to be able to show the one picture with this woman. Here, do it again. I wanted to be able to show this particular image, which is, the light's hitting it, sorry, down here, because one of the people that is mentioned in my book is this person, Mamie, and that was a real person, by the way, even though my book is fiction. So definitely, if you're going to do it yourself, if you're going to use your own image, I would recommend getting a few photographs together and kind of checking them out, because the first photograph may not be exactly working out for you. So, you know, do it. Make sure you have some good lighting. If you have a photo tint, that's really good, or a light tint or whatever. But move things around a little bit, you know, so that they're orientated in different ways, because one picture might be better than another picture. The look here option, it is automatic. So you just be prepared that 10% of your book is going to be shown automatically. When they click on it, they'll see the cover, and they can scroll down. For my book, it ended up being the preface, the first chapter, and part of the second chapter. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't turn it off. You cannot change it. Like, I kind of would have liked it to stop after the first chapter. Too bad. I can't do anything about that. Okay, so there's quite a few little twerky tip things that are not quite working. In fact, another thing in the look here option, if you do look in mine, you will see that at one point there's quite a bit of italicized text in the book, because some of it comes from an actual journal that my Aunt Mamie wrote. And so whenever it's her journal, I put it in italics. Well, somehow the text kept going into italics. Now, this is not the case with the Kindle version. Another reason why I downloaded it for real, to make sure. The Kindle version's fine. And when I looked in the preview of the Kindle version, it also looked okay. But in the look inside version, it's not the same. And I got into there's a community section for people, this is another handy thing, that if you do this, you can get into the community. There's message boards. Lots of people were complaining about how the look inside doesn't really work. The only way that anybody said that it's possible to fix it is to go in, because when you upload the file that you finally get together, you're supposed to save it in a filtered HTML web file, which you can do in Word. And when you do that, you're uploading an HTML file. That means there's HTML code in there, and for some reason the look inside feature goes kind of crazy with HTML. And somebody said you could go in and mess around with the HTML. I do know HTML, and I did open it and read through the code, and my code was fine. So I thought, I know the Kindle version's okay. I don't know if if I mess with this, if this is really going to make a difference or screw up my Kindle version. So I opted not to go in there and mess around with the code. So another issue is with pricing. If you are going to want at least 70% of your royalties, and you have an option, it's either 70 or 35. That's it. You have two choices. I think most people would agree you want 70%, not 35%, right? If you want to get at least 70%, you must have at least a $2.99 price on your book. Anything less than that automatically means you only get 35% royalties. So that kind of was a sticking factor for me, because I had the idea that I was originally thinking, oh, I'll put it at something like, $4.99 or $3.99, but I will discount it because I always see these Kindle, Kindle books are discounted on sale all the time. If I want to do that, I have to I have to join a specific program through Kindle. Did I write it down? It's called KDP Select is the name of the program, and they let you join it. When you join, though, the first 30 days you can't do any changes to your file, which means you cannot change the price and you cannot put it on sale. The next 60 days you can put it on sale. And there were also some other weird stipulations about, if somebody downloads it and they just read 10% of the book, you get something. And I've heard people, actually authors, complaining about this new program of Amazon. So I'm going to check into it more before I sign up, because I couldn't see a big draw for me. And maybe I'm completely wrong, and if you know something I don't know, put it in the comments, please. But I want to know more about this program before I sign up, because it would limit it would affect the cost of the book. Plus, you're only in the program 90 days before you have to re-sign up, which means there's another 30 days you can't put it on sale. So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to put it at $2.99. That way I'm at the bottom threshold. I still get 70%, but I think most people, if you liked the book, if you got in there and read the first chapter and you liked it in the Look Here section, $2.99 I don't think is a lot to ask for an ebook. All right, so that's something else to consider. I'm just making a list here. So yeah, I would say just, don't feel like you can't possibly do this. It is a lot of nitpicky type of stuff. There's a lot to go through and read. There's a lot of things to do as far as, formatting your document. If you wanted to publish a craft book or say a children's book that had illustrations in it, a lot of illustrations, it's totally possible to do that, and you've probably seen ebooks like that. Again, you need to read up on how to do that, and they have all the instructions are online in the Kindle Direct Publishing section of their website. It's just up to you to go in and read through it all. I would also suggest that once you upload, say you think your manual is totally finished, you upload it. Wait a while before you start blabbing to everyone, because like I said, with me, I thought it was going to be fine, and then I went in there and I saw the problem with the one of my page breaks, and I just want to make sure I fix that before I told anybody. So yeah, just give yourself a little. I know everybody wants to be like, oh, it's published, I'm going to tell everybody right now. But it takes, once you upload it again, and you can like I said, you can re-upload your file. It takes anywhere from 12 to 48 hours. If it's in a foreign language, it takes more than the 48 hours. If it's in English, it takes 12 hours for it to repopulate. In your, and they send you an email saying it's been published. So make sure that you kind of maybe give yourself a day or two before you you make sure everything's okay, and like I said, you don't think, oh, I better check that page break, or did I check, there was a page where I forgot to do, whatever. That way you would have time in case something comes up later that you didn't anticipate, and you could fix it and re-upload your manual before somebody downloads it and it has some error in it that you had forgotten to fix, okay? So yeah, I think actually it's very empowering to be able to go out there and publish your own work. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again. I am working on another novel right now, but it will probably take me a zillion years to finish it. And as far as craft books go, I still would prefer, I think, to publish with an actual publisher, just because that's more comfortable for me, and that's what I've done in the past for my craft books. But I wouldn't necessarily rule out self-publishing, and I think definitely you should check into it if it's something that you might be interested in doing. Again, that is kdp.amazon.com, and it's the Kindle Direct Publishing program is what it's called, Kindle Direct Publishing. So, and it really, honestly, if you just say Google, Google Kindle Publishing, making ebooks, that kind of thing, you'll find lots of links. But Those are that's a direct one that you need to find the information that you'll have to get started. And I guess that's it. Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe.